Welcome, everyone, to the 13th episode of the Casandra Properties Podcast. We are joined today by a very special guest, Todd Bivona. He's the producer, director, and partner at Gotham Trinity Productions. How we doing?
Doing very well. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Always a pleasure to get together with you. You've got that, like, intoxicating kind of personality, so we said this will be a great little show.
Yep.
And we're joined by our wonderful Becca. How we doing, Bex?
Singer, Becca.
I'm good.
The singer, yeah. So
She's an avid singer.
yeah, so we're going to get into, as we always do, roll it back to the beginning, talk about, the origins of where this company started and Todd's history and his passion, and you'll come to see very quickly the passion bleeds through in everything he does. He's been great to work with, but we have a little treat that we're going to plug in somewhere here at the end, and Rebecca is going to sing for us.
Awesome.
Yes, I guess I am.
Yeah.
Because this is going to lead to a music video. That's what this is
Apparently.
going to be.
Apparently.
So, I'm going to sign her a deal.
I'd be remiss if I didn't throw in the Petey's on the ones and twos so Todd can chastise me.
I remember that.
I heard ones and twos. I was like, oh no, he's not a DJ. However, he still is on the ones
He
and twos.
kind of looks, he's got the mixing board, and he
does.
kind of looks like he's a DJ.
Would
That's
you rather want to be called a technical director? You're the technical director or director.
He's still in a cage.
I was just going to say, he's in his cage. Leave him be.
You said that in one of the last podcasts. What bars?
Yes.
He's not in a cage.
Soon they'll be there.
Creative background. He's a technical director, James.
No, he's hiding. That's fantastic.
Love it.
He's the ones and twos guy.
All right.
That's as technical as I get here,
Ones
folks.
and twos it is. Got it.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Yep.
Where are we from? How do we end
Sure.
up in this business at such a young age with so much success? Let's give the audience kind of a flavor of how you ended up where you are today.
Sure. Real quick, just it's an honor to be here. It's really cool to be here. I love this space. When I saw this space, when we did the business spotlight for the Staten Island Advance, I was extremely impressed with this and can't wait to actually utilize this for our stuff because everything sounds so beautiful here. So congratulations to you guys on what you guys are doing, and to Peter and to everything you guys have put together. It's really cool. I just want to say that first and foremost. Really cool that I'm here. A quick backstory. I just find it everyone has their own story, and it's very unique. I was actually born in Bogota, Colombia, in South America. I was 3 months old when I was adopted by the Bivona family, and brought up in Canarsie, Brooklyn, until I was 8 years old, 7 years old, whatever it was, 93. And then we moved to Tottenville, Staten Island, where I resided for 25 years. Moved out to Jersey a couple of years ago. Moved again in Jersey from Parlin to Cliffwood. Anyway, so that's my little life history, and I say that because I kind of approached my life by always being grateful for everything I have every day, because where I was from, if you put into context, Bogota, Colombia, 1985, not a very good place to be. So I'm always very grateful, and I've been fortunate enough to go to great schools, PS1, IS-34, Tottenville High School, went to Marist College.
You went to Marist College?
Yes.
Oh, do I have some stories for you?
Really?
This is not an online thing.
Boy.
These are offline things.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're... No.
Phi Sig?
Really? Oh, so you're a Marist grad?
No.
Oh.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. He's not a Marist grad.
Part of my sordid history involved a layover at Marist. My brother went to Marist, and he's a Marist grad. He was one of the founding brothers of Phi Sig. So, yeah, so real
cool.
If we're going to take a real short sidebar,
Go for it.
If you know my brother Joey, he is the life of the party. He's dynamic, he's outgoing, he's loud, he's boisterous, he's handsome, he's the total deal, my brother. Super smart guy. And he goes to this college and he starts a fraternity. He's a founding brother. He's, this kind of iconic figure in his own little world there up at Marist. Yep. And he graduates the year that I come in. So I walk into, there was zero chance I could succeed. Very conservative mom, super hard, like when I went to school, it was like, I was going. And my first day, I'll never forget, I walk into the dorm room and there's beers everywhere, and there's all the fraternity brothers there. And they're like, Prendamano! And I was like, oh my God. So I didn't graduate, but I had a hell of a good time up in Marist.
Good spot.
Yeah, it
excellent
is.
Spot. Yeah.
It is. We'll talk
more offline, absolutely. Love the Poughkeepsie area. Hudson Valley's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Coming up now, actually, is one of the best times to be up there. The fall foliage is gorgeous up there. I love the Hudson Valley up there. Culinary Institute of America is up there. This is good old CIA. Oh, so good. Anyway, moving on to my story. So I graduated Marist College with a sports communication major. While I was there, I was invited to work a local event because I was part of the television club for CSI Sports. Asked for 4 students to be production assistants, make $150 cash. Now, to me, that's like $1 million in college money.
Yeah.
Because that's like how many, it was, what was it used to be called? 30 stones for 10 bones, Keystone Light, 30 pack for like $10.
Yeah.
That's weeks of beer.
Everything's measured in beer.
Everything was measured in beer.
true.
Speaking of the party culture up there, it's a great school, by the way. It's very controlled. I love it up there. Anyway, so I worked that event for CSI Sports, now defunct. It was a boxing event. And at that event, I saw someone operating a very large camera that was on an arm. It was 32 feet long. And I talked to this guy. I said, "What is this?" He tells me what it is. I help him break down his gear. I found out it's a jib camera, and it's remote control at one end with weights and this whole big contraption. And eventually, I help him to his car. He says, "Give me your information. I'll contact you if I have further work." Okay.
Yeah.
More beer. Again,
More beer.
Again, I'm
I love
thinking
it.
more money, more beer, more whatever.
Oh, boy.
And he contacts me for, my mom's going to love this, but he contacts me for a gig at NBC at 30 Rock. And I work for him there, and he's like, "You know what, I'm going to help you with an internship at HBO.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm a sophomore in college at the time, so I'm able to successfully get an internship with HBO Sports my junior year, working for Inside the NFL. Then it was Bob Costas, Dan Marino, Chris Collinsworth, and Chris Carter. And I also worked on set of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. And then I also was part of the HBO Sports boxing circuit. I was a production assistant working for that. So, again, extremely grateful, lucky, but worked hard, though.
Are you a sports fan?
Absolutely.
So that had to be a dream.
Absolutely.
An absolute dream.
Played baseball growing up, ran track during college, actually. Baseball is my number one, and one of the places I now work at, MLB Network. Of course, it's
cool.
Yeah, that's a dream. You know,
Yeah.
again, and I'm always smiling because it's amazing what I've been able to achieve and just enjoy. So I got that internship, and from there opened up the floodgates. You meet one person in that business, much like real estate, it's who you know
Yeah.
and the connections you establish.
Yeah.
I was able to establish great connections, and then worked for Food Network for 14 different shows, QVC, GMA for a couple days.
amazing.
And that's the freelance aspect of the business. So you don't work for just one person, you work for many.
So what are you doing, like back to the college days and your NFL network, what exactly are you doing for them during this time?
Right now, I am primarily a stage manager or floor director, depending upon what you want to call it. So I work alongside camera operators, audio engineers, lighting guys, production assistants, hair, makeup, wardrobe, teleprompt operators. My main goal is to work with them to achieve the goal of the production.
Okay.
Let's give an example. MLB Tonight, MLB Network, we all come together in a studio, Studio 3, named after Babe Ruth, of course, or Studio 42 after Jackie Robinson, and we have to execute a show for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, based on the director and producer's format. And that includes a lot of moving parts. My primary focus is the talent, who's on camera, making sure they have what they need to achieve their goal of looking good on camera, making sure a host, Fran Charles, is okay as a host, making sure John Smoltz has what he needs, and
Smoltzy.
Yes, I'm totally name dropping, and making sure Harold Reynolds has what he needs to achieve his goal. So that's my job now. But I grew up in the business as a production assistant, as an intern, just helping out along the way, getting water, making sure things were clean, on set of Iron Chef America, making sure the set was spotless, and things like that. That was my job.
Yeah.
And that was an important job because it was
course it is.
quick turnover from one take to another take. And that's how I really got my hands dirty, pun intended, on the ins and outs of the business.
So I have to ask, because I'm fascinated by this side of it, right? So one of my passions has always been sports. So what is it? What is a production meeting look like? Like, does everyone sit around a big whiteboard table like this, and everyone's got, is there like the producer or the director lays the agenda out, and then everyone kind of backfills? What is it? How does that happen? How does it come together?
I want to equate it to a board meeting you would have with your team, James. I want to say you sit everyone down and you get a feel for what are we achieving today. Now, I don't know if you do daily meetings, but I'm just saying, or weekly meetings you might do, and you set forth what are our goals, right? And that's it's the same thing, except you're just putting on a show that's being watched by however many millions of people, and you have to be really on point. And there's so many moving parts. There's the graphics department, the playback called EVS, replay. There's the tech side in the studio. There's producers. There's the tech manager who deals with satellite feeds. So it's making sure everyone's on the same page for however long, and the meeting runs by the producer. This is the format we have. This is how long we have. We have to hit sponsors. So if Casandra Properties is a sponsor on MLB Network and they have a sponsored spot from 8 p.m. to 8:15, well, you make sure your sign is on the front of the MLB Network desk. That's somebody's job. So it's all these pieces in a format, putting them together.
So now, do you have, is it, if you're going to be doing a ABC show, do you have one of these meetings when you've decided that this, or the producer or director decided this show is going to move forward, and then, or is it every single time you film each episode, is there one of these kind of production meetings?
Always a production meeting before every single show.
And is it a half hour, an hour, 2 hours?
It depends on the scope of the show. Even a half-hour show can get an hour-long meeting because there's so much content you need to cram into a half-hour sponsored show. Specifically when you're talking about sponsored elements, right? Because you need to have, the starting lineup brought to you in part by W.B. Mason for the New York Yankees. Like, you have to make sure you get that in. There's a certain animation has to come on a certain way, last a certain hour, and it has to be said a certain way by Michael Kay or John Sterling or whoever it is calling the game. So it depends. I did a Super Bowl a few years ago, the pregame show, 5-hour show. That production meeting was a couple hours because you have to go through the format line item by line item. Okay, Dan Patrick's going to tee Rodney, and then Rodney, you tee Tony Dungy, and then we're going to go to a tape, and that tape's going to be about Bill Belichick. Just saying. So it can be very long to really answer your question.
It's amazing. If you go back to, what was the show back in the day? Was it the George Michael Sports Machine? It was on I think like Friday nights, and like it had the big reels and like it ran the tape. If you look at the difference between how those shows were produced and now, thinking about all of the technical aspects, all of the imagery, all of the sound effects, all of the cuts, all of the overlays of pre-recorded stuff, all of the commentary, all of the positioning, it is kind of remarkable that it comes together the way it does. These shows flow so seamlessly, right?
They do.
So this is, you're the guys making the magic happen.
It takes a village is the thing that we hear most often, is that and it really does. But truth can be said here for Casandra Properties, right? It takes a village in order to achieve the goals your vision has set forth, short and long term, right? It's the same thing. It takes a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, whether it's in-house or if you need to contract out, like if you needed to contract out Gotham, for instance, just to make your vision what you want it to be. It's the same thing, and it's anything from the hair and makeup to the house guys who take care of a studio, making sure that things are plugged in and clean or up to date, or in these COVID days, making sure you have enough wipes and masks and Lysol spray and making sure things are clean. Whole new element, right? So it truly takes a village to get this done.
And you must have tremendous vision. I'm sorry, Becca, to cut you off, but I know how important it is to me. Like if we whiteboard something for an ad or a commercial or something like that, and Petey makes it happen digitally on the screen, you being able to share whoever the client's vision is has got to be a pretty cool experience working through it with them. And I know how gratifying it is when I see something come out exactly how I freaking saw it.
Right.
That is awesome. You're bringing someone's vision to life.
Yeah.
The best example for that, James, would probably be the Boonton Christmas Parade in Boonton, New Jersey. 45 minutes northwest of here, probably. And a good buddy of mine, Tommy Crigliano, is the host. His family and the volunteer fire department put this beautiful parade on every year. It's about a 3/4 mile stretch in Boonton, and it ends at Santa Land. And we had these grandiose plans to do a multi-camera shoot, just like what Petey's doing here with the multiple cameras and whatnot and cutting around and whatnot. We had a drone. We had a camera on a rail on one lamppost going to another lamppost. We had 2 handheld cameras, so 2 people operating a camera. We had a set. I actually asked my friends at NBC Sports to use a desk that NBC Sports uses. We brought it on location. So Tommy and the co-host Alex LeBeau hosted the parade from just like you would,
cool.
like the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah.
Granted, this year it's going to take on a different version. However, you're used to the Thanksgiving Day parade, the 3 talent.
Yeah.
You see the parade behind them. We did the same exact thing. To your point, vision, seeing that whole thing come together, it's nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Even to be a stage manager, a part of big shows, and to see the whole plan that you're like racking your brain, how are we going to do it? It's live TV. So many variables. How are we going to do this? But then when it's done, it's like, all right.
So you actually see it, right? When you're going to do this parade, and you're like, I could see the excitement in your eyes, or the rail camera, and we've got a drone, right?
It's true.
But so are you seeing the finished product in your head as that's happening? Like, do you visualize all of that?
The beauty of what directors have to be able to do is take all the technical aspects, then take the format that the producer puts together, and then make it sing. So yes, there is some sort of visualization, and we're going to get to a little surprise that I have a proposal for you guys at a show we'd love to do with you.
Ooh.
And that
Interesting.
I'm gonna as I started writing out a script, and then I'm gonna tell you the cues of what you're gonna see imagery wise, and what you're trying to ask.
Yeah.
The director sees that, yes, to answer your question in short. Like I see before the Super Bowl, a dramatic shot outside drone, give me a sense of place, they call it. You see the stadium, you have a booming voice like Al Michaels. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2020 National Football League Super Bowl. And then you have shots of the players, hero shots. So yes, you have to have some sort of vision, but you have to understand so much in order to execute that. Does it make sense?
Makes
Yeah, it
perfect
does.
sense. So that's a gift, right?
Oh, 100%.
And is that a gift that you recognized early in life?
Good question. Someone just asked me, how did I got all started? This all got started. My aunt and uncle needed a videographer for their wedding. And I was on site. I say on site like I was... I always just say on site.
Okay.
I was on site. I was at the wedding. I was with my family at the wedding. Okay, here we go. I was there, and they said, here's a camera. Go take some video. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Then from that, I got into photography. But I always, in high school, my mom always liked my idea of wanting to be a physical therapist. So in high school, I wanted to be a physical therapist.
Interesting.
And then if possible, I was going to run track for as long as I can run that into the ground, pun intended. But then I got to college and off the rails. Didn't want to do it. Didn't like the physical therapy track. And I was like, I need a liberal arts education, which is what Marist offers.
Yep.
It's a great liberal arts school. And so that's when it really blossomed. Well, Marist, I really also just became a person because of where it is, because it takes from so many people from around the country, around the world even. That opened me up to opening my eyes to being a different person and seeing the world in a different way and understanding different people's perspectives. Then I started to get a direction of telling a story. And I just forgot his name again, the J-Man.
J-Man, yeah.
J-Man talks about storytelling and being yourself. And we talked about that right before we came on this podcast, Rebecca, was just be yourself.
Yep.
And one of the points I made, we might hit, but to get to it now, you don't even need Gotham. You can just be yourself and do a selfie and do a video and just be you. Like the fishing video that got so many views for James. Well, there's a reason for it because he told a story that made him seem so human.
Yeah.
He's just like one of us.
Make that connection.
Hey, I think you're with your son.
I talked about that was the place where my son caught his first fish.
Very cool. And now we're able to do that from a broadcasting side. It's like the Olympics.
Yeah.
NBC Olympics does the best storytelling there is. What does that mean? They tell the story of the athletes as human beings just growing up in rural part of New Jersey that you didn't know existed, and now they're representing Team USA at the 2020 Olympics. Right. And that type of storytelling, I love that, and telling someone's story, because everyone's got a story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's unique, being born from another country and then raised in Italian in Canarsie, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. I mean, come on. But I'm Colombian. I have
Yeah.
Colombian blood, 100%. So that I'm proud of that too. So, everyone has that story to tell.
And I appreciate you sharing that story because it's interesting for me. And the more of these that we do, the more I have the opportunity to kind of dive in and get a deeper understanding, make more connections, right? We've talked a lot about communication.
Yes.
This is about us having the opportunity to give a community that is given so much to us an opportunity to come in and have a platform. We had a small business owner on last week, and he talked about some of the real difficulties that he's experiencing here, and he felt a little frustrated, and it was a way for him to just kind of get the story out. So
Sure.
to hear that and to understand, because we have talked quite a bit about, and I don't have to say this, and if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't, because you wouldn't know that we talked about it, right?
Right.
But you left a mark on me after the first time we had connected. And I was like, I don't know what it is about this guy, but there's something dynamic. There's an energy. There's a love. And hearing your story, I mean, you're the American fable. I mean, you're like the fairy tale. That's really remarkable.
Yeah.
And so now here we are, and you've got your own company. Talk to us about who the company is. What do you do? And then I'd like to get into some of the challenges and how tech has changed things and so on. Yeah.
Sure. So it actually, concept came from three of us, obviously, myself, Michael Graziuso, my business partner, Michael Delagrazi. Those two guys are actually small business owners on Staten Island for 25, 30 years themselves. If you're familiar with Hot Concepts' Fireplaces, used to be based in Father Cap, now on Victory Boulevard. It's him and his family, and then Double D's Chariot Collision is the Delagrazi family. So it started with those two guys growing up together from when they were 8 or 9 years old. I came into the picture circa 2002 when I was stuffing the produce shelves at Wallbounds, and Mike Dell was in the meat department. And he heard about my kind of like, photo and stuff and video and stuff. And then years later, I'd meet Mike Graziuso at a shore house in good old Jersey Shore. And I always just talk about drones. Drones are going to be a big thing. I think I feel it. I knew it in
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This was 2002. You were saying that?
2002, 2003,
Wow.
and then once I had the shore house in 2008, once I graduated college. After college is when I really had a pulse on what was happening when it came to tech and TV and what needs to be next for me now. What needs to be next for me now? Makes sense. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, I knew that drones were like the next big thing. I knew digital media was a big thing. I even tried to create a position. I'll never forget this. Right after I graduated college, Poughkeepsie Journal, I said, I want to be your new media reporter. I want to show up with a video camera and a microphone and do news packages and sports stories for you. And I did a video from K-Fest. And it's when Akon actually threw someone off the stage at Dutchess County Stadium. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
I did a better piece about something besides that. However, my point being is, I'm losing my point. I knew what I wanted to be, but no one knew it yet. Like that new media position.
But that's your gift. Your
Right.
gift is vision, right? Whether it's
exactly.
you're seeing something a client's conveying or you're seeing something that you can't quite put your finger on, that's my gift, is vision. It's
Right.
You don't quite understand why, but as sure as you're sitting here, X, Y, or Z, right?
So that drone idea that resonated with Graziuso and Dell said, hey, I want to shoot some shorts or I want to shoot some skits. And they had scripts in mind or they had shorts like 10 minutes long in mind. But they're very involved, a lot of man hours. So that's where Gotham Trinity started, was just shooting some fun skits. That was cool and nice.
Yeah.
And we thought about doing features. And my buddy Dell has a feature-length script in his arsenal. But we also realized we have to make money. And that's a difficult way to make money. And I applaud someone like Giulio Vincent Gambudo, who did Team Marco.
Yeah.
Totally shot on Staten Island with a beautiful story, shot on Staten Island with Staten Island actors, incredibly well done. He's kind of actually the godfather of Gotham Trinity, because we went to the SIADC business conference, saw his press conference about Team Marco, then went to his seminar. We did behind the scenes for Team Marco. He then recommended us to Caesar to do the member video that we did a couple years ago for SIADC.
I didn't know that you did them.
Yeah, so the SIADC, we're a big partner with all of their video content is pretty much us. Like the Staten Island Advance comes to us, specifically the sales division comes to us for all their content. the SADC, we've been very blessed to have them alongside
Very
with them.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah, and
wow.
we just got introduced to the Chamber of Commerce now. So now we're going to be working
Great.
alongside them to do some
that's
cool things
exciting.
coming. Yeah, so a lot of cool
Awesome.
things on the horizon for Gotham Trinity. So the point being, we've kind of evolved into this multiple facets. We can do shorts, we can do commercials, we can do live multi-camera events like the Bootin' Parade. We can do live broadcast online. Then COVID hits, and that's when I came here and I interviewed you. We became this new authority, if you will, much like Casandra Properties has become the authority in the YouTube space of real estate and sharing that value out there. We became this authority of business.
Yeah.
And saying, what are businesses doing to adapt during these times? So did we. The whole broadcasting idea, like we're doing a podcast here, they're more prevalent now than ever before because of quarantine.
Right.
No one had anything to do.
Yep.
Can't have meetings or can't do face-to-face stuff.
Right.
So how can we stay in touch? So myself, Mike Bloomfield, a former guest from Techie Geek
Yep.
that's been here, works great with you guys,
Yep.
interviewed you for one of the
Yes,
testimonials.
yeah.
You did an amazing job, by the way.
Thank you.
I can't wait for her to sing. Don't go away. There is singing coming up next.
Man.
That's a plug. And Massimo Dodano from Partners in Sound, we did shows every day. We did 3 shows a day, 5 days a week.
Wow.
It was Breakfast with Bloomy at
Oh, that's right. I
10
remember
a.m.
seeing that on Facebook. Yeah.
That was at 10 a.m. Then Midday with Moss at 3, and then Gotham After Dark, which was a little bit, a
Right.
little more funky. That was at 10 p.m. And that was our thing. And we found that people enjoyed that content because it was away from what
Yeah.
was going on.
Sure.
We were talking about favorite pizza joints, favorite diners, why I like Poland Spring versus Fiji. Anything and everything that wasn't COVID related, we talked about, and people loved it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I know Peter does the optimization of Facebook number. Our numbers spiked on Facebook. Our traffic jumped astronomically because of we were out there so much. So my point about what Gotham Trinity has shifted, a lot more multi-camera live broadcasting things, and that's my little proposal for you guys is a live show. We'll get to that.
So, when do you see this is not just something that maybe I'm doing part-time or not something that, when do you see, no, this is it. This is my life. This is what I'm going to do. I love it. I need to be in it. When does that happen?
It's an excellent question there, James Prendamano.
2 for 2. Listen, don't tell me when I have crap questions.
I'll be honest about it, actually. I don't know, because I am, if I can be candid and share something that I'm struggling with right now, is when am I going to peel myself away from my freelance life that has been so kind to me for 15 years,
Yep.
and step away from that and then make Gotham Trinity Productions a full-time thing. I mean, there's many people who have asked, when are you going to just do this full-time? Because you have so much potential for work, and there is such a new need for this space now. It needs all your time and attention. It needs all your direction and all your vision. I don't know, but I'm hoping soon. I'm hoping we can partner with more people like yourself,
Yep.
like the Advance, where I can do it on a consistent basis and be able to start a family. I got married a year ago.
Congrats.
In June.
Congrats.
Thank you. We celebrated a year this past June.
yay.
Very exciting. So I do want to get to a point where Gotham Trinity Productions has the capacity to help me support my family and start a family.
Of course.
Really, I wanted to get there. Right now, I'm at that point where I can't leave NBC and MLB just yet.
Yep.
But I do want to focus on this. This is my baby. This is this is a passion. This is, as I said before we jumped on this podcast, everything that I've learned for so long from some great people in the field, just downscale that and apply that to the mom and pop shops and do live broadcasts from Aunt Butchie's of Brooklyn and Arthur Kill Road or from the Page Plaza Diner. Like there's applications for what I've done for so long here.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to do. We're going to get there. So to answer your question, I don't know when that's going to happen.
So, well, we've been blessed we've been able to successfully launch a few different initiatives, companies. I can tell you if you want some advice, and if you don't, you're going to get it anyway. Strategic planning, right? So I just started doing these with Chad Reyes over at Lions Pride. Awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
He's great.
He
He's-
really is.
And commending you for being part of the Staten Island Rising Virtual Summit,
yeah.
which you were a panel member on,
right.
talking about leadership and whatnot. Again, loved working with Lions Pride in that project. That was a great project.
They are also visionaries.
Oh, my goodness, absolutely.
And they are opening my eyes to so many things that I didn't realize I wasn't doing, I should have been doing, giving me the ability to focus more, turning 105, 110-hour work weeks into 80-hour work weeks and being more productive.
Wow.
They have something called a plan ahead, where it's an exercise. We just did one for a really cool initiative that we're working on with them. We spent 3 hours and change, right, on just one initiative, and it really helped to slow it down, break it down, and methodically break out every component of what we wanted to do, what were our goals, 3 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
That's great.
It was super productive for me. So if you're thinking of making this switch, I would some advice would be, go sit with those guys, do a plan ahead, do a Pro-D assessment. It has taught us so much about the team and about sometimes just because you can get through things and kind of as you're going, manage, and you're throwing triage, you're tourniquet here, and you're putting, whatever it is over here, and you're still kind of moving it,
Right.
but you're not humming. When you're firing on all cylinders and you go, that's exciting.
Sure.
And with your passion, take the time in the insanity to pull it back, right?
It's a great point.
So
Yeah.
you're making these videos, and you said, we were surprised that how much it took off. You gave a sense of normalcy as you're doing these videos, and you're connecting with these business owners, and you're talking about pizza, and we were cooped up, and we're still in some regards cooped up, and people really wanted and needed to feel normal. So those videos and that kind of conversation, and like you said, anything but COVID, gave
That's
people
for sure.
an opportunity to just feel normal for a little bit and
Yeah.
kind of forget about all the insanity that's going on around us. So
Of course.
I commend you for that, and really a great job. I'm curious about technology must have played a role in the evolution of your business.
Sure.
So in the context of 10 years ago, and then in the context of COVID, how has technology impacted what you do, and how has COVID, and maybe that ties into technology, changed how you do what you do?
Technology has helped those like a real estate agency, for instance, give them better access to create content and be content creators themselves by sharing about their fishing story.
Right.
So that's one side of it, where we've seen more of the amateur, if you will, users be able to dabble into this video field that I was introduced, it's only for professionals only.
Right.
And some of us...
It's intimidating, bro.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It is.
When
definitely
you're
Yeah,
is.
not
it is.
in the business, it's
Very intimidating.
very intimidating.
It's not easy just to get in front of a camera or to do a selfie or to use your laptop as a camera. Like when I interviewed you for the testimonials, like it's, and you're looking at, what am I looking at? I'm looking at my laptop. Like it's just,
Yeah,
it's
it takes
weird.
a while
it's
to
awkward.
get used to it. Yeah.
And because you don't feel that interaction. So technology has allowed so many people to be a part of this video space, specifically like we call them the YouTubers, right? They've been made millions of dollars because technology is more readily available to them, and it's good technology.
Yeah.
Phones even are a lot better shooting 4K, or version of 4K, and whatnot. So I've always struggled with those people making it versus the professionals that I learned from, who have been camera operators or directors or producers or audio engineers or lighting engineers or hair and makeup, and doing it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years that I've been blessed to learn from. And then everyone can do it now. So it's almost as though the market has been so oversaturated with many the varieties, which again I see at the same time, because everyone has a story to tell.
Right.
So that it's cool too, because now you're allowing everyone to tell a story.
Sure.
But sometimes from a technical standpoint, it's like, oh, you're not doing it right though. Like, how did you make it? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
my buddy's been doing this for 25 years and he's not there. Yeah, so that's one side of technology, but it's been great to be a part of cool technology and cutting edge stuff. Like even watching the LED monitors come to the forefront and that be used on TV sets more, or LED lighting. That was really cool to watch that happen. MLB Network opened up in 2009, January 2009, and that was all bulb lighting. So the studios have to be cooled to like 60 degrees. It's like it's freezing sometimes in these studios. But now, not now, but I don't know, 6 years ago, let's call it, you have LED lit studios that you don't need that type of cold environment because they don't emit nearly as much heat as an actual old school bulb that you're powering at pretty high power in order to light up your sets and your talent and whatnot. So that's been interesting. LED lights be more prevalent in studios, for instance.
Sure.
And cameras are better.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right in a way, just saying how many different types of things. It's been cool to be a part of, and using them, some of them for myself and selfishly, having some toys to play with, but also being a part of the bigger aspect of at NBC and MLB Network and all these networks and whatnot, using those toys too.
Yeah.
And that's been really cool.
So if it's so funny, the things that we take for granted and the advances in tech, and you mentioned cameras, so I'm going to share a little sidebar. My son is constantly with his iPhone, like taking pictures, and Petey has been good enough to teach him some production basics, and he's got a podcast now, my son, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he loves it, right? So, you know, I'm watching him sitting there hammering away on his laptop, and he's on the phone with his friends, and they're setting up their next podcast. I went and I popped in on Sunday. We have partner meetings, so we were out to grab lunch, and there's a really great store on Victory Boulevard that opened, I think, recently, that has all like collectibles.
Oh.
And they have some really amazing pieces of history.
Wow.
And as I was walking through, it caught my eye. There was the Polaroid camera, like the original Polaroids. And just, you know, the night before, I was watching my son, and I just had that moment. I took the picture, and I sent it to him, and I was like, this is how we used to do it. And he was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even recognize what it was. It was like, you know,
so funny.
this was a Polaroid. This is how we took pictures. And he was like, "Well, but how did you get the video?" And I'm like, "Video."
No video.
No, bro. Like, you know,
What are you talking about?
right? Put it on the clip up
so
against the
true.
thing.
That's
To
it.
the heat. I don't even know, is that real? Did the heat actually make the Polaroid
don't
develop
know.
any faster? But we used to do all these crazy things, right? And now in such a short period of time, we've had such profound change, and that's given voice to businesses. That's given voice to not-for-profits. That's
Correct.
given voice to so many people locally, nationally, on a smaller scale.
Correct.
So how are you seeing that impact now?
Correct. So that's where we come in as Gotham Trinity Productions, and we're able to offer maybe that next level for them to help them achieve their goals in a professional sense, using some more advanced gear that they might not be able to get their hands on.
Yep.
So that we can do a live multi-camera shoot and have a nice studio desk and have a nice, so we did it for Anthony Wilkinson over at the Avenel Performing Arts Center, and we had live from APAC, and we had like the Johnny Carson desk with a couple of chairs for guests at the theater, or we had virtual guests.
But explain multi-camera production, because
Sure.
I wouldn't have understood that a short while ago, and I think it's important for other small businesses that are looking for professionals like yourselves. Explain what that is, because it seems like simple, but when you're watching it again, your vision, seeing cuts and different. I'll let you explain it. But I'm sorry,
No,
interruption.
You're
I wanted you to.
it's good. You know, listen, James, you're with it now. You're
I'm-
hip. You're
I'm
hip with it,
almost
man.
hip.
You
Right,
get it.
there we
I'm
go.
getting
You're
there.
hip.
No more Polaroids for me,
No,
baby.
you get it. Multi-camera shoots, playback, you're in. Yeah, I mean, multi-camera is what you see on national TV. So when you watch your favorite talk show and you see multiple camera angles, let's bring up Jimmy Fallon, for instance, and it's him in the Roots, right?
Yep.
It's him in the Roots crew. And you see a shot of Jimmy Fallon coming up, and it's this dynamic low shot from a camera, and all of a sudden it gets tighter and tighter and tighter, cut. You see a shot of the Roots, and they're playing and jamming out. Cut back to Jimmy Fallon, and there's Jimmy, and goes like this, and then cut back to the band, and they stop playing. Cue the lights. Multi-camera, there's a lot going on. That's what I mean by you see multiple angles, multiple things at the same time. Or if someone's reporting outside, like I think David Letterman used to have the guy report downstairs. What was his name?
Oh, yeah.
It was that.
I know exactly.
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
talking about.
It's that little
I do too.
deli
I'm just not
downstairs.
sure.
I'm gonna get killed for not knowing his name. Anyway,
It'll come to you.
I'm gonna get abused. I know,
When we're
but
done.
anyway, he would go down. He would and reporting downstairs with so and so.
Right.
And now you cut to that camera that's downstairs. So that's what I mean by a multi-camera. And it's James. It's interesting you asked. Rupert. There we go.
There we go.
Nice. Thank you so much, Pete. God, you're awesome on the ones and twos. It feels so weird saying it, but I'm going to say it because James says it. Anyway, so that's the multi-camera aspect and how to incorporate that. And it's James, it's so interesting you asked that because that's one of our toughest things as Gotham Trinity is to, what do we do? And anytime I say multi-camera productions, people are like, what does that mean?
Right.
It sounds cool to them, and it sounds, ooh, so you're going to bring multiple cameras? Yes, but we're going to be able to have many different angles like you guys have here today and all your podcasts. But then we can cut to drones. We can cut to a rail cam that's on a rail for that's 300 feet long. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the sports programs with the fly cam, the blimp. You can cut to a blimp. Yeah. You know, that's amazing what we're able to do. So, again, think of all that, but I want to downscale that and do these types of programs and shows on location at Rab's Country Lanes, for instance.
Yep.
And do a show. He was doing his great shows from there every day, and God bless him, he's still going. I know they just opened up about a week or two ago now, the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So kudos to Frank over there. I think it's awesome what he's doing over there. And that programming. Well, why don't you take it a step further and do a live broadcast of a bowling night for a fundraiser for a nonprofit on Staten Island?
Yep.
Just throwing,
Great idea. Yeah.
I think the high school scene. We used to have SI-76. You guys remember when SI-76 from Time Warner Cable used to exist? You used to watch Tauntonville versus Curtis football.
Oh, yeah.
At Curtis, Nick Lagakis and Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent or Joe Nugent, whatever his name was. Calling the game from on the field. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah.
Then MSG Varsity came, and they tried for 6 years and did a great job. A lot of people learned through that system, but that doesn't exist anymore. Verizon came in, and they tried. That doesn't exist anymore. So there's so many applications for what we're capable of and my history and my resources, which is great, too. And I can ask people from the TV community to come, hey, I have this gig at Tauntonville Curtis football game. Can you come help me run camera? Can you run some cable for me? Can you do some audio? Can you set lights up in a booth for me? That's what I want to bring back to the island. But I want it here because no one else has that.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to have happen here on the island.
So let me explain why that is so critical for a small business or for a not-for-profit, right? So when you have the ability to have a local partner like Todd, and they come in with all of this equipment and all of this technology, and you know what you do best, right, as a business owner, they're able to take this tech and present it in a super professional way and, quite honestly, appear a lot bigger than what you are, right? And it presents your company in a super professional manner. So for a good long period of time before Petey was over here and part of the family, we struggled with trying to make this stuff happen. And what I found was it was pulling me away from what I do best. And what I do best is crush real estate. Like that's where I need to be operating, where my talents lie. And when you want to take on a bold new initiative, or you want to shoot a commercial, or you want to get a podcast series going, or you want to do more on social media, or you want whatever it may be, you want to do more video ads. As an entrepreneur, you are tempted to dabble in it. Well, I could figure this out, right? We can do, and you can't, right? There's a place and there's a time for the small business owner to do it on their own, where you don't need a professional crew like yours.
Correct.
But then there's a very clear place where you can't. And the benefit of it for us has been tough to quantify. Being in my business, it's 92% of all home sales start with a click. And 82%, I might be off by 1 or 2 percentage points here, but 82% of homeowners want video as part of their home presentation. 7% of agents actually give them that production.
That's wild.
Wow.
Right? So there's massive deltas that are starting to appear, in my opinion, from what we can see in every business. And you guys fill that void, and you give a smaller shop like mine the ability to appear much bigger and more professional. And quite honestly, it's really cool when your team can come in and we're seeing the same thing, and I can just focus on getting out the message that I want to get out, and you focus on making it look
great.
As I can't explain to you how important that is for a small business owner. Right. When the business bears mom's name. I've been doing this since I'm knee-high to a grasshopper. I've been, full-time going for 25 years. Yeah, knee-high to a grasshopper. That's an old man saying.
I love the look on your face. Okay.
I like that.
And knee-high to a grasshopper.
Some say I'm still knee-high to a grasshopper because I'm so short. Anyway, moving on. I got to make fun of myself. I always have to.
So
I hear it.
It's really important as a small business owner to have that come together and appear as professional as it does.
Sure.
And you guys being able to mobilize and do this remotely is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
So really commend you on what you're doing. And I look forward to continuing to work with you. What does the future hold?
What does the future hold? A lot more live broadcasts.
Okay.
I think that's big, specifically in the sports space, because no one does that right now in New York City the way it deserves. Because there is incredible amount of talent on Staten Island, on the sports scene. Baseball is huge. Football, of course, is huge.
Of course.
Again, what happened to SI-76? Why doesn't that exist? Why don't we have that service anymore? Staten Island Advance does their best, their absolute best to cover the local sports scene, but they just don't have the arsenal technically or just manpower-wise, because that industry has also changed. They don't have the resources they used to have in order to give it its due. That's one thing that we're definitely focused on, is broadcasting live sporting events, broadcasting live any events.
Yep.
Specifically now, because some people can't go in person, so why not watch the broadcast at home if you're not comfortable being in person? If grandma or grandpa can't make it, or someone is susceptible to this virus, well, then they need to stay home. And that's what everyone has told us, right? Yeah. So if they want to be a part of Susie Q's graduation, but they can't be there, well, let's broadcast that live now, and they can log on. Someone can set them up and log them on so they can watch.
Amazing.
Watch their kids grow up playing sports, or watch them Arista, I think is what it was called at Townville High School, and be honored for scholastic excellence. So I think what we're doing is broadcasting all these events, or if you have a gathering for a nonprofit, whatever it may, all these events can be broadcasted live, and also then be sponsored, where we're also making a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So and that's the other side of sponsorship and sponsoring these events. And I also think there's room for us to be teaching the local community these things, specifically students who might not have access to this kind of thing. And
Very cool.
I think give them the tools.
Yep.
That's maybe not a studio, because to be fair, Staten Island's very blessed with some great studio spaces. For instance, Staten Island Tech, Farrell, St. Joseph by the Sea, Tottenville, all have some semblance of a studio space, and that's great. Yeah. Not everyone has that. Not everyone can take a very nice camera and shoot 4K video somewhere, or go fly a drone. I think that's another space where we're exploring, of sharing our message with those who might not be able to, and inviting the community to come and make content.
Yeah.
Content made by Staten Island for Staten Island.
I love it.
Let's go.
So cool.
I love it.
Let's go. There's so much here. There's so much more to us than what everyone has seen at that. And we want to be at that forefront of showing the beautiful properties available, the land that we have on Staten Island. Let's go. Let's showcase that. The sports talent, the artistic talent.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Illuminart. Let's go to Snug Harbor. There should be shows every day highlighting what we're all about. All the first responders. This island's full of FDNY, NYPD.
Amazing.
Let's go. like these spotlights, like we need to spotlight us. We're about so much more. That's the future.
So
that's us.
So, and the future is now. Okay.
Yes,
so
it is.
COVID has created an opportunity, if you will, to my daughter receive communion. My daughter has now outdoor dance classes, right?
Oh, wow.
Grandparents couldn't come. Broke my mother's heart that she couldn't be a part of this. So, without question, I think this new norm, we refer to it as AC, right after Corona.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
BC,
Well,
AD,
I think that's how
Fair.
profound of an event this is, right? So,
Yeah, it is.
as we move forward, these things are going to be more and more just part of the normal.
Yeah.
My son's soccer game, my son's baseball games, right? To have the ability for them to see it live, and technology, and particularly the older generation, one of the other things that's happened here is during coronavirus, there was a sharp increase in the proficiency, even in the older demographic, because it was the only way to stay connected.
Yeah.
So right now we have the generation that I think would benefit most from this type of stuff. My mom specifically, right? And having been through what we've been through, she learned right quick how to get on a Zoom session
Yes,
and
she did.
how to
Of
FaceTime and how to do these
That's
things
awesome.
Yeah.
that would fit beautifully with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Another moment in time, I think that we're almost starting to miss is Staten Island has always been in the shadow of New York City. We've always been the forgotten borough.
Correct.
And for once, we have the script flipped a bit, where people are looking at Staten Island as a place to come hang your hat,
Yeah.
have a little bit more elbow room, don't have people above you, below you, to the left of you, to the right of you, not being as crowded. There's a real sense of community out here.
Absolutely.
And I believe this is Staten Island's moment in the sun. And we had talked quite a bit. I was on a conference call with Bob Kelly earlier today. He's one of the local builders. And we were talking about how we've kind of missed a little bit of the boat where there should have been, and there still can be, and maybe this is something we talk about, there should be a campaign about Staten Island.
Yes.
We're the borough of parks, right? We've got, there's so many wonderful attributes of this borough that have been so overlooked for so goddamn long. We've got a moment in time here, and I think it's important that maybe we get together with professionals and you put together a group and we start broadcasting these things.
Absolutely.
We start, doing live shots from parks and from whatever it may be.
Right.
Let's get that message out there and let the rest of the world know who we are, and we're not just the other borough that people forget about in New York City. Like, we're a kick-ass place.
And you're already achieving that by having this podcast and bringing in people from the community. So I say, take this on the road. Let's go on the road. Let's go to, and that was one of the ideas I wanted to propose to you. Is like, let's go to one of your sites, one of your flat pieces of land.
Yep.
That's just a beautiful opportunity
great
for
idea.
someone, and go live and broadcast and just talk about it.
I love it.
And then bring someone else on, a local business owner. It's like, hey, you've seen this piece of property on Staten Island open for so long. Talk about the area.
I love it.
Wherever it may be, or any one of us can come on and just wax poetic about Staten Island, whatever your property may be, whether it's a flat piece of land or a building that's been there for 50 years, whatever it may be. That's one way to do it. Maybe this needs to go on the road and exploit the beauty that's on and the opportunity that's here now.
Yeah.
And get this strike while it's hot now.
Yeah.
We're all in, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We love the ideas. We love the initiative. We love, like I've said 300 times, your energy and your spirit. We're trying to work really hard to affiliate ourselves with more like-minded people that have the same passion. That's one of our goals as we emerge from this. So I love it. I think it's a great idea, and I'd love to be a part of it.
The one idea that I wanted to share, let me ask this before I should have prefaced the idea I had to share with you. Did you ever do anything open house wise, like live online? Did you ever do that?
So we have. We've done 4 or 5 of them now, and to our surprise, how many people tune into it. The barrier that we hit is the agents are not confident in it. They're not completely comfortable in the technology. People get nervous about something being live, and people hyper focus on it.
It's a stumbling
but
block.
we've done a couple of them. We've promoted them. We've sold stuff from them. It's not the future. Again, it's now.
Right.
So it did well. I know you can't hear me, but I thought it did well. With the problem was the technology was terrible, so the agents weren't allowed to go in. So we had to have like the owner with their cell phone and then have a camera of like James talking about it.
Peter, you're saying it was mainly just a cell phone based type of thing, but just trying to be now.
Yeah, and
you needed to pivot. It was like, well, let's try some sort of live aspect of this.
During Corona, so it was this complicated. We weren't allowed to be in the house.
Okay.
The homeowner had to do this. So they had to have their cell phone. They had to walk through the house while it was live. And then we had to have an agent set up remotely watching the feed. And then, they're homeowners. They're not marketers. They don't know what to look at or how to pause or how fast to move or was the Wi-Fi not good or did they not connect. So then it got choppy, and the idea is great. And now that the restrictions are lifting, we can do it where we, as the agents or with an affiliate company, can go in and do it. Without a doubt, that is super, 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 super important. Look, showings now are not showings anymore. They're re-shows. The video is so good, and the access is so good. By the time you get to a home, it's a re-show. So a part of the pitch that we want to start making is when you list with us, because we've invested so heavily in technology, we can keep the people out of your house that are just browsers. The people who are coming here, they're vested. They're vested, right? Like they've seen it. They're into it. They dig it. These are real folks. So we can keep you safer. We can save on your time. We can save on our time. And we can bring more people that are likely to be far more vested and qualified and interested in your property instead of every nosy neighbor that wants to come take a peek. They could do that through these other technologies. But how do we do this? So, I see the smile. give me the baby. Let's go. Give me the juice.
I want a live show.
Yeah.
But I want a desk. I want a host. I want a co-host. I want a reporter. I want a reporter who can go in room by room, or 2 reporters. I want someone virtually. I want someone who doesn't feel comfortable to be there, to be here, that could be reporting stats with a 2-box with all the stats of 5,000 square feet.
School districts.
Go
access to stores, shopping, transportation. Oh, yeah.
Such a great idea.
Get the graphics, be visual about it, but have a live presence on site. If it's a nice day, you set up like in the driveway or something. You have a beautiful backdrop of the house, and you see everything here, or commercial property too.
Yeah.
And it just show a nice wide angle lens, so you have this beautiful shot.
I love it.
And now get a drone shot to open the whole thing, and then you say, off exit 1, the southernmost point in New York State. Welcome to this live virtual open house in beautiful downtown Tottenville at 12345 Main Street. Hello, everyone. My name is Todd Bivona from Gotham Trinity Productions. But first, we have to do a little thank to our sponsors. Brought to you by Richmond Valley Merchants Association, Page Plaza Diner, The Conference House, Town and Country Deli, JVN Restoration. We now turn it to James Prendamano, who's going to give us a little bit more about the house. Boom. Cut from the big wide shot with all those logos showing up. Think of the sponsors, local sponsors. They're part of it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now bring some of those people here on camera. Now it becomes a plug for them too. Page Plaza Dine has been there for, Jesus, I've been on Staten Island since 1993. It's been around forever. Have them come on. I love the community. I treat everyone like they're my family here. I can't wait for you to come here. I want you to buy this property because I want you to invite you to my diner. Free cup of coffee when you come in here.
I love it.
That's such a fantastic idea.
And now you have sponsors who want to be a part of this live broadcast because you have such a great audience that you're building up, right? So value added to them. And now they, even if they don't do anything, at least if they watch it on their phone while they're driving to it, let's go to the Page Plaza Diner and stop for a cup of coffee, or let's go, what's the conference house? The 15-year-old kid who's coming along with mom and dad to look at the showing, Google's conference house. They did something big here happened. Oh, let's go check it out. It seems like a park. We have also Fluffy, the dog. Let's go for a walk at Conference House.
I love it.
So I say a multi-camera shoot, as you were saying, a drone, a rail cam, a desk, a host position. The other side of this is a reality show side.
Ooh.
Now follow me here. This is something that we're thinking about incorporating to our next short film when it comes to casting.
Okay.
And casting and doing auditions for roles and following that whole process from start to finish. Same thing. For those who are able, now I don't know the insurance and who can, if you have to sign a waiver, if you can do this, but you have willing participants who come and they come on set with you. Hello, Susie Q. Here's my son, James. James, you're 18 years old. What are you looking for in a school? Well, Dad, I'm looking for a blah, 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 whatever. Find out about them now. Well, go enjoy your tour. And then they go on this tour. And now you get to...
man.
I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if this
anything's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything is possible, right? I mean, today the doors are opening for this type of stuff more and more and more. So I love where you're going with it. Thank God you did not cut to me after you gave that amazing introduction. I'm sitting here swallowing down my vomit, going, "Oh my God! I hope I don't have to follow this friggin' pro with that. Welcome to page 9. Oh, I'm going. Oh my! I'm going to sound like a jackass. That's what's going through my head. So thank you for that. But I love the idea. I think it's brilliant. We are in.
Yeah.
Let's sit down offline and talk through it. We're all about exploring new ways and new avenues and video, content, anything that can get our customers' product out. Look, at the end of the day, it comes down to eyes, right? And as we pitch, it's crazy. We go on listing appointments and we talk about some of these technologies, and you could see the glaze when you lose people because they don't understand it. So we have to do a better job explaining. All this means is we're going to get more eyes on your product. The more eyes I get on this product, the better of a chance I'm going to have of getting top dollar. That's what matters, right? So any of these neat ways, especially something that's Staten Island centric, especially something that has that component of pride about who we are and what we are, and we're not all of the, I got to pull myself back. We're not everything that you've heard about Staten Island. We're a wonderful place.
Correct.
We've got beautiful people, and I would love to be a part of this and get the message out.
That's great.
So
you can incorporate commercials, cut to scenes from the local sports teams that play. Hey, by the way, Tauntonville beat Curtis 25 to 41, 24 to 21 the other day. Let's check some highlights. You know, it's just something different, and you know, just again trying to follow the curve, follow and pivot, and just do something different, new, dynamic, and you know, and value added. Listen, is the offers out there to anyone who's listening across the country and all the countries that you have open to. That the idea's out there. Here's yours. Run with that. It's just something different that you might be able to work with a local company that can execute that for you, and again, value added to those people trying to sell, whether it's a home or commercial property, whatever it may be.
Look, as always, I was looking forward to this because I do really love your energy.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I wish it's hard because, you know, people can hear you, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see, but you just don't there's the presence that comes off of you, and this energy. It's really great.
When I listen to J-Man, and shout out to J-Man if he's watching these again, but like he has you said it to introduce him. He has that infectious personality to get out there, and he gets it. One thing TV has learned me, it's always look at your audience, talk to your audience, speak to your audience. And you saw me a couple times. It's a recognition of that people are either watching or they're listening, and the inflection. 100%. And he got into that of being that to grab people in. And then to talk to them like human beings. It all goes back to we're people. We're all trying to help each other out here.
Absolutely.
That's what it is at the end of the day. Yeah. The more you can relate to the people listening or watching or people in the room, the more likely good things are going to happen.
Absolutely.
Great things are going to happen right here. And I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we wanted to touch on before we wrap?
Yes, real quick. Gotham Trinity Productions produced a pilot episode for a proof of concept TV series called Street Smart. That is focused on the opioid, I'll learn English at some point, the opioid epidemic that has been around for quite some time now. In fact, numbers have shown progressively getting worse, unfortunately. But this TV series is set to not just follow the addict and their family, but also everyone that is upper class, lower class, how it affects the local fire departments, police departments, and things of that nature. So we are having a private showing, this weekend like we did last weekend, and then a Q&A is open to the public next Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock. Gotham Trinity Productions YouTube page will be live.
Let's make sure we get that information, Petey, when this goes live, and we have that out there for the public. Thank you for that.
Sure.
This is a real freaking problem in Staten Island, and any attention you can get on it, and best of luck with it. It literally saves lives. So from the bottom of my heart, we've all have a story. We all know someone who's dealt with this affliction, and anything that we can do to get more attention on it is very, very, very much appreciated. So thank you for that. Everyone out there, please keep an eye out for the Casandra Properties, Gotham Trinity Productions, new show, partnership, whatever it is. Bro, it's going to be great. I'm visioning now. We're going. This is going to be cool. Kick-ass. I'm super excited for it.
Exciting.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Everyone out there, stay safe. Oh, no, wait, I forgot. Becca. All right, so this is. Oh,
wow.
How are we going to do this?
We were going to slide right by that,
is she going to sing right here? Or are we going to. Yeah, all right. So, listen, Becca, one thing people hate is dead air. Not that there's any pressure.
Oh, so I got to like go right into
You've got to go 3.
Jeez.
Wait, 2.
Oh, wow.
1.
That's unfortunate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Biba, Becca Matulonis.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. And I'm feeling good.
Woo!
Wow. That
absolutely
woo!
Killer.
Amazing. Very well done.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Reeves.
Oh, you got it.
Well done. So, can we do quick? What's your history? What's your singing history? Wait. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I started singing. I've been singing forever, since I can remember. I was in a band when I was younger, would tour around with them a little bit. Cool. I took voice lessons. I kind of gave it up for a while. And, I sing here and there. I've been hired to do weddings and funerals, as odd as that may sound. But yeah, so I just do it on the side. I write some of my own music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She actually wrote a song about Microsoft Word.
I did. It's fantastic.
Can we hear it? Or from can we get it somewhere? Can we go online, hear it?
No,
or is it private?
I can sing it for you.
About Microsoft Word?
Yes.
This has got to be interesting.
It is.
Like the nuances of it and whatnot, and just how weird it is?
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, because that's just bizarre to me.
I have to, hopefully I remember the words. Okay. Word, oh word, how I hate you. You really make me feel like a fool. All I'm trying to do is convert a PDF into Word. What the hell am I to do? Formatting's off, random spacing too. Why must you be so rude? I hate Microsoft Word. How I hate you.
That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, make way for Becca. That's so good. And it's so true, too.
Right?
And it's so true.
Right.
See, people can relate.
Yes.
See, that's how you get to audience by giving them a product that they can relate to. They can relate to the pitfalls of Microsoft Word.
I don't remember how this came out. We were at a conference or something, and I hear her just belting this song out, and I'm like, are you singing about Microsoft Word?
That's so good.
Good stuff.
That freaking paperclip. Anyway.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
James, thank you. Becca, thank you. Pete, thank you. This was awesome.
This was
great. Fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Folks, please keep the comments coming. Yes. We really enjoy this. We're having a really good time with it. So if you have any other thoughts or suggestions, please send them on through. Love you guys. Everyone, please stay safe.